What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing today? Welcome back. I'm Sean.
And I'm Jen.
And today, we're going to decide, is marriage any different?
Is it?
See, it is and it isn't.
Oh, okay. That solves the problem then.
It's like
that really
math.
answers the question.
It's like math.
Sure.
It is and it isn't.
No, one of the things that, since we got married in July, people have been asking us, and on filming this, we did get married again yesterday, so now more people are going to be asking us. Long story, check out previous vlogs or whatever to check out our vlogs, guys. Shameless plug. No, people have been asking us a lot. Is marriage different? Like, do you guys feel any different? How different is it? Oh my gosh, it must be like so different. And we're like, I mean, yes and no.
Yeah,
it depends. The answer is it depends.
It really does, because like waking up the day of the wedding and waking up the next day felt the same.
Sort of. I was way less stressed the day after versus the day of. So you know what? Yes. Being married feels very, very different from being engaged. There is way less stress. So much less stress.
Especially when you're in the planning phase.
Cool. Vlog over. We're done.
Hey,
Woo!
Thanks for
No,
coming.
just kidding.
No.
So we wanted to talk to you about the ways that marriage is different and some of the ways that it's just not. And all of it is dependent on the couple themselves. Yeah. So the first thing that we want to talk about is living together. We lived together for a really long time as roommates and then dating, because we went from roommates to dating. It's the "and they were roommates" thing. So we went from roommates to dating to engaged to marriage. So we've been living together for a really, really long time. So in that regard, no, marriage has not changed anything. I guess the dynamic changed when we went from being roommates to dating, because things that were separately yours and separately mine started slowly becoming one thing. Yeah. And we already had to know each other's cleanliness habits and chores habits and just day-to-day schedule of like personal things and
some of our shortcomings when it comes to certain things, you know, but messy, not messy, but no, like, I think, to me, I think the biggest difference was, like you said, going from being friends and roommates to then all of a sudden being in a relationship. Then down the line when we decided to cohabitate, is that the word?
Yeah, actually, I think that's it.
That was a bigger change, because now it's like we have one room.
Yeah, we went from 2 rooms to 1 room, and that's where the biggest change happened. But that wasn't when we got married. That happened well before that. And that's when the biggest change is. So if you are not living together and then you get married and then you live together, well, yes, everything is different. Literally everything about your life is different. You went from having your own house with your own space, and you can say, oh, you can pick me up at 7. You're like, I don't have to deal with you till 7. Yeah. Kind of thing. Or like, oh, that gives me enough time to look a certain way or to have my house look a certain way when you pick me up. To, no, you're just in my bubble all the time. You had your own bubbles, and now it's just one bubble at home. You can have separate spaces. Like right now we are sitting in my music studio, which also doubles as our vlog space, but this is my room to just go and be by myself. And you have your office / art room to go and be by yourself. That's fine, but it doesn't change the dynamic of being in each other's bubble when you live together.
There's no more like man behind the curtain, you know, Oz reference. It's now, that's what you look like in the morning? That's what your breath smells like in the morning? Go brush your teeth, Sean.
every morning. I'm like, do not talk to me until you brush your teeth. But those are the things that you learn about each other when you live together. So if you got married and didn't know those things yet, yes, everything is different.
You are in for a roller coaster.
But it's not always a bad roller coaster. You know, if you're compatible in those ways, great, awesome. Then cool, smooth sailing, whatever. But you have to, whether it's after you tied the knot or before, you have to give the other person some grace and not expect them to just fit into your bubble. They can't just fit into your life like a piece of furniture that you bought that you can just design properly and put in the exact right place where it's perfect. No, they are their own person with their own likes and their own dislikes and
their own habits.
Yeah, and their own things. I don't like some of the things he brought into my house when we were into my room when we first cohabitated. Is that a word?
Yeah.
It's cohabitate, right?
I think so.
I don't know, but I didn't like some of the things you had. Some of the art you had, I hated, and I know that you didn't like some of the stuff that I had.
Yeah.
Like, I think a piece of my furniture was really uncomfortable to you. I have no idea. I don't remember what it was, but you were just like, this thing sucks. And I was like, oh. Or like my need for so much workout equipment. You didn't really enjoy that as part of the watching TV living room design. So.
And that was a lot to get used to for me, because I like my stuff just in one area of the house. I've always like my computer and my TV. Like, I've always had my computer and then my TV next to each other. And that was it.
So you can just look at one and then look at the other. Very efficient. Guys are so efficient.
And then it's like the TV's here and then my computer's in another room. And I'm like, how do I watch TV?
You bring your laptop into the room.
And that was things that you have to learn to adjust and get used to. And there's just so many things. Like, luckily, I mean, I think I'm a little more messy when it comes to the countertops in the bedroom or in the bathroom.
Yeah. Check the house tour for that.
But we both have, I want my stuff on my side. She wants her stuff on hers.
You can have your own
and we don't cross
sides. You can have your own areas in the house. Like, I have this room, you have the room next door. We have our own sides of the sink. But if you didn't live together before you got married, it's not about sides of the sink and having your own, like, not a man cave or like a craft room or whatever we always see people have on HGTV, but for you it's an art studio and for me it's a music studio, whatever. You have to share the same kitchen. You have to use the same bathroom. You have to shower in the same place. If you have only one bathroom or you both want to use the master, like, that makes sense. You have to both have your clothes in the same closet sometimes. You have to deal with each other at all times, and there's no, oh, I'm gonna go home, I don't feel like coming over tonight. You always are sleeping together unless one of you decides to sleep on the couch. You are always sleeping together. Maybe they snore, maybe they talk in their sleep, maybe they're snoring super cute like, and you're fine with it, or it's quiet.
I'm two of those three things.
Actually, you don't snore.
Really?
Every once in a while I gotta like roll him over. I gotta be like,
you're snoring,
roll on your side. He's like, okay. Maybe one of you had pets and the other one did not. Guess what? You got to get used to now.
That was
come
big.
Together.
That was a big difference for me, because I hadn't had pets since I was a kid, and then coming in and at that point we had 4 cats.
4.
And we didn't have T'Challa yet.
We had 4 cats. We had Ninja, Suchan, Sayuri, and Bento. Who Bento just walked into the room, by the way. So if the camera shakes or there's extra noise, I'm sorry.
He's coming for the tripod.
He's coming for the tripod right now. Wow, so graceful.
Good job,
anyway, so we had 4 cats. So he went from having 0 pets to suddenly becoming a dad of 4.
Who literally, like, they jump on you, they knock stuff over.
They don't let you sleep.
And me being me, I'm not used to sounds in the middle of the night in my house.
So he, at first, he was very, like, well, when you were in your own room, it was different because you didn't really sleep with the cats. But when we started cohabitating and he started sleeping with them, every noise, he would wake up like, what's wrong? And eventually he had to get used to the fact that, no, they're just cats. They're just chasing each other. Like, Bento and T'Challa play all night. They chase each other. They wrestle. They just play. They knock stuff over. It's, if you have no pets and you're about to cohabitate with someone who has a dog, that is a big change. And if you didn't do any of what we just talked about before you got married, oh yes, everything is different. But in that regard, if you did live together for, in our case, years, nothing's different. Nothing in that regard has changed at all, except now you have your marriage certificate in a safe place in the house. That's it. It is, right? Okay, he knows where it is. I don't have a clue where it is, but that's fine.
I put it away so I won't lose it.
Yeah, that's it. But how is it different for us is a good question. I will say, from being married once before And I love to bring the wisdom and everything that I learned from my first marriage into this one. So I'm never shy to talk about it. He's never not allowed me to talk about it or asked me not to. Because I did learn so much, and I do respect the marriage that I had. I will tell everyone that this is what makes marriage so different. Above all else, it is really hard to quit. It is so difficult to quit. You can't just be mad about a toilet seat being up and then being like, that's it, I'm out, I'm breaking up with you. Yeah, no, there's paperwork involved. There's legal things involved. You can't just quit. It's so hard. I know it was very hard for me to get the divorce the first time. It was so hard. I don't care what you do. I'm not doing it again. No. There are sometimes reasons that you have to quit. But when you get married and it becomes really difficult to quit, it better be a good reason. That's the main difference. Is that suddenly the small things can't break you anymore. Because you can't just up and leave. Everything is tangled. Everything is like that phone cord that's just tangled, and or your iPod before they were AirPods, like your headphone wire.
When there was a cord.
Yeah. Oh, you're never getting that thing untangled. It's a necklace that you'll never get untangled. You know, everything. Like we were talking about this, like on a bad day, you realize two things, and both of those things have to do with the fact that it's nearly impossible to quit. The first thing is, on a bad day, it's a sobering reminder. Like a bad day relationship-wise. It's a sobering reminder of how hard it is to quit. Because sometimes the day is just that bad that you just like, that's it, I'm done. And then you go, well, I guess it would be pretty difficult to be done now, wouldn't it? And it brings you to this moment of, okay, well, I can't take the easy way out then. And then you talk, and then you have to work through it. And sometimes at the end of that conversation, it really can be over. But like we were talking about, it's not bad to get upset at each other even over little things, medium things, or big things. But if all of those things didn't have negative intentions, if they didn't have malice behind them, you really should talk about it.
Oh, yeah.
Because, like, sometimes in a relationship that I've seen before, there's malicious things being done from one party to another. If that's happening in your relationship, I don't care how hard it is to quit. You should probably quit. Have a conversation, but if there's malicious things happening in your relationship, it's not healthy. It's not good. Don't do it.
No.
I'm talking about on a bad day, like, even if the other person caused it, if it was an accident, yeah, go ahead and be upset. But if it was an accident and that person feels really bad, shouldn't break you. And the paperwork involved in breaking you will remind you that it shouldn't break you.
There's so many things that are accidents, that were just a mistake, that it might even been intentional, but it came out wrong, or things like that. The fact is that you can't... Marriage teaches you how to communicate.
Absolutely.
Because that's one of the things that I've learned in all my years of relationships and stuff, is that communication can make or break a boyfriend and girlfriend, or
husband and wife,
an engaged
or
couple,
fiancés, or anything.
That can make or break.
Or wife and wife, or husband and husband, because we are equal opportunity on this channel.
Because it's so cut and dry when it comes to communication. Because like we were talking about this vlog actually earlier, and like on the podcast and things like that, we were talking. I didn't understand what she was saying. And I was like, no, that's not a good idea. And then we started talking about it.
I could feel him getting frustrated with me.
And I was like, why would we do it that way?
And
then she was like, no,
let me just erase the whiteboard for a second. Let's start again.
And then so she was like, this is what we're doing. This is what's going here. This. Does that make sense? And I was like, I'm an idiot. I just wasn't listening. And that's also another part of it, is listening.
Listening. So communication has two things in it. Talking and listening, and both of those things need to happen in order for communication to be effective. Good word. Love that. I was gonna say efficient, but I was like, it doesn't have to be efficient. It just has to be effective. Yes. But yeah, it's communication is a huge, huge, huge part of that, especially if one of the two caused the bad day. So, but even if one of the two did cause the bad day, or maybe something else did. Maybe one of us lost a job, or we recently lost one of our cats. We lost Sayuri. That was a bad day, okay? The other thing, aside from like the sobering reminder of, oh God, it's not that hard to quit, or it's not that easy to quit, we really need to try to work through this, you also get that reminder on a bad day that you're not alone, that you have somebody that committed to you, that is there to be with you through these hard moments, even if they caused it. Like, you couldn't find your vest for the wedding. Was that a hard moment? Yes, we kind of needed that, and that was his wedding attire. Like, I had my wedding dress. He really, really needed that vest. It was part of the whole vision of the wedding. Did you cause the bad day? Yes. But I wasn't alone in being inconvenienced by his actions, and I also wasn't alone in finding the solution for it. Now, that's just a small, very insignificant example. He still looked fine. It was whatever.
Hey.
But there are so many ways that, like, you can cause a bad day or have a bad day, but you have a partner. You have somebody with you that's there to help you solve it, that's there to hold you while you're dealing with it, and whether you're crying or just angry, there's somebody there to say, okay, do you want to just vent or do you want a solution?
Yeah.
Because that's important too. But you're not alone. So yeah, it's really hard to quit, but at the same time, that person said, I'm with you till the end of the line. I just quoted Captain America, but that person said, I'm with you through the bad and through the good.
Yeah.
So on a bad day, you're reminded, yeah, it's really hard to quit, but also I have this person that's here to be with me, to support me, to help me. So you're not alone, and you're not alone.
Yeah.
But there's a few other ways that it's been different. Not to like just dwell on that, but logistical things.
Oh yeah.
Logistical things are a little easier. I'm not gonna lie. Ever since we started being able to use the words husband and wife, a couple logistical things have gotten worlds easier. First and foremost, making phone calls to companies that have to do with like the electric or like Comcast or something. He can call Comcast even though it's in my name. Why? Oh, I'm her husband. Oh, okay, cool. We can deal with you then. Now, banks, you can't do that. But, like, certain things, you can. Comcast, you can do that. Like, why not? But if he had said, oh, I'm her boyfriend, they would have been like, I'm sorry. We need to speak to her. Because there's nothing legally binding us.
Yeah. To them, it's like, oh, well, she trusts you enough to say I do. Then I guess we trust enough to listen to you update the address or something
Yeah,
crazy.
And now I don't have to make my own phone calls. Not a fan. But and then there's like other things that logistically get easier just because we can use those words. There's a bit more legitimacy to those words. And I don't mean like that like boyfriend and girlfriend or significant other and significant other. I don't mean that those relationships aren't legitimate. I mean, with some people, especially like a little bit more like old school people, the words husband and wife give your relationship just a little bit more legitimacy. Like when I go teach at workshops, I used to say, like I was teaching at Florida Theater Conference, right? And I would say, I'm going to bring my boyfriend and he's going to assist me with the class. And they would have this like, do you really have to bring your boyfriend? Because they were thinking, she just wants to bring her boyfriend or
just
whatever.
So they can hang out.
Just so they can hang out because the term boyfriend and girlfriend has like such an adolescent connotation to it. But last time we did it, I said, I'm going to bring my husband and he's going to assist me with the class. They were like, oh, that's so cute that you guys teach together.
They were like, that's so cool that you guys get to do this together. And they were like talking to us about it. Like, it's like,
because it makes the relationship sound a little bit more mature than boyfriend and girlfriend. So I think the solution isn't to get married, but to find another term for boyfriend and girlfriend that doesn't make it sound so adolescent, you know? And it can be tough to say significant other because they'll be like, what does that mean? What do you mean? What does that mean? Partner can be good. Partner's a good word to use. not that this is the point of the vlog, but partner can be a good word to use if you're looking for one, because if they don't understand that you mean like your relationship partner, they might mean your business partner, and they'll treat it all the same, so it's fine.
So like in a professional setting, partner may be a better option.
In a professional setting. But that's one of the differences of being like not married versus married that has changed for us, is that when I want to go teach and bring him along with me, it's so much easier if I say my husband is going to assist my class, because it throws up no red flags. Boyfriend kind of throws up a couple red flags.
People are like, oh, he could just be some random person or something like that, or things like that. It's just, like you said, the legitimacy and the overall feeling of, oh, that's a nice married couple that are doing this, or that's a nice, husband and wife that are going to look after them or do that kind of thing. It's just, to me, it's weird, because to me, I'm like, someone's like, hey, I'm going to bring my boyfriend or my girlfriend or, significant other. Cool.
Yeah, we're cool about that. But like some people, it's that word. Speaking of that word, that's another thing that's different.
Oh?
The word husband.
Oh, the wife.
Using that word. That has been one of the biggest differences in being married versus being not married. People are like, oh, is it different now that you're married? Yes, I have to remember to call him my husband. And he has to remember not to call me his ex-girlfriend.
I mean, it's a fun
Oh,
way
we
to
do
call.
that all the time. I'm like, oh yeah, that's my ex-boyfriend. And they're like, you broke up? No, we got married.
Yeah. Worse, we got married.
No, but it is weird for me to say, oh yeah, this is Sean. He's my husband. I stop for a second.
I have to go through, because like we've gone through all the phases of friend, girlfriend,
photographer.
Well, no, like you were my client at one point,
and you were my photographer and videographer, and then
friend, and then employee,
or cast member.
Yeah,
you're a cast member of mine, and I am your director.
Yeah, and then
to friend, and then to boyfriend and girlfriend, and then fiance, and now husband and wife, which that's the end, right?
I think so.
That's the end. I'm pretty sure that's the top tier. We made it to the penthouse.
I don't know if there's anything else we can just start making up words.
We could. But that's been a big change, is just using the correct term for each other.
I felt bad one day. Someone was talking, and I was like, oh yeah, my fiance, blah blah blah, and they were like, I thought you were married, and I'm like,
oops. Yeah.
that could have been taken bad by somebody going, you have a fiance and a wife? No.
They're the same person. I just forgot. So yeah, it's funny. It's definitely funny. And that actually leads me to another thing that takes getting used to that did not change for us. You know how some people take their significant other's last name?
Ooh, yes.
That is different. For a lot of people that get married, that is extremely different. And not only in the fact that it's a huge pain in the butt to do, you got to get all of these documentations. You got to get all these documents changed and all of this stuff. Suddenly you have a new name. And that would be very different. Now, we're going to make a whole vlog on why I am not taking his name and why he's cool with it. But that's not for this vlog today or this podcast or whatever this is. I'm just basically saying that if you did decide to help.
If you do decide to take someone's name, that is huge difference. You have to learn how to write your name different.
Oh my God. How many of us mess up writing the date after January 1st? Can you imagine having a new last name?
You're like,
you got to do that more often. You got to create a new signature. That's a whole new signature. That doesn't seem like a big deal, but actually it is, especially if you have like a public persona where you have to like autograph things. Whole new thing. But most people just sign checks, and that's fine too, but you got to make a new signature with the new last name. When you answer the phone, people are going to go, oh, is Jen Mansfield there? And you're going to double take and go, who's that? Oh, that's me. Right? Yeah,
you're like, wait, what? Who? No, you have the wrong number. Oh, that was me.
Yeah, that was me.
Sorry.
And I guess one of the differences for us is that I have to be cool with the fact that people are going to go, oh, hey, it's the Mansfields, and not correct them. I don't need to correct them. I don't care. I decided to keep my last name for reasons we will get into in another episode, but I don't care if they think my last name's your last name. It doesn't bother me. But if I had changed, man, would that be different? that'd be so different. You would be in a different place in the roll call.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I went from last name Vermees to Mansfield. That's a whole, like, bunch of letters.
Oh, man, you would have gotten way quicker in lines.
I know.
That's your fault.
You'd have to go to a different line to pick up your tickets.
Yeah.
I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but to be honest, it is.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many little things that could make it different. But like we said at the beginning of this, it depends.
Mm-hmm.
So the answer to the question is it different? Is it different that you're married now? Well, it depends. For us, a lot of it, no. But for a lot of people, we do know people that don't live together. A friend of ours doesn't live with her fiance, and they're getting married next October.
I think so, yeah.
I don't know if they're going to live together before they get married. So for them, oh Lord, is everything going to be different? And even if they live together, how close to the wedding they move in, it's still going to be pretty different after they get married.
Mm-hmm.
So it depends.
Mm-hmm. It really does. Like, it's one of those things where let us know.
Yeah, please let us know.
What was the easiest part and what was the hardest part for you?
Yeah, what was the most different thing and what was like not even different at all? Because we told you what for us it's the word husband and wife.
Mm-hmm. That's
for
the
us
hardest thing.
that's the most like that's the largest difference. Mm-hmm. Living together. Yeah, not different. Not different
She
at
knew
all.
I'm disorganized from the start.
And he knew that I am boring.
And very organized.
Yes, that's kind of what I meant by boring, but also my color palette is very neutral, and his office is like all the colors. But yeah, we'll get into all kinds of things like why it's important to each have your own space. For some people it's not important. And some people live in a 200 square foot apartment in New York and can't have your own space. So we've been watching a lot of apartment
tiny
tours.
house,
I don't know
tiny
why.
apartments.
But yeah, we'll get into all kinds of things. But thank you so much for joining us today for this vlog of, is marriage different? Is it any different?
Is it?
It depends. Man, you could have just fast forwarded to right here and just gotten the answer. It depends.
Yeah.
But I would say it's worth it so far. How about you?
I'm definitely down. 2 thumbs up from me. I think marriage is an amazing thing. And
Well, it's only been a day.
Oh yeah, it's only been a day this time.
I mean, how long has it actually been? Like 5 months?
July.
Almost 6 months? Wait, August, September, October, November, December, January. So almost 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. 1 day or 6 months, depending on who you ask.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess we'll see.
Mm-hmm. If you're new around here, make sure you hit that follow or subscribe button. And if you enjoyed this, make sure you hit that thumbs up. That way you'll get notified. And we know that you enjoy marriage talk. But thanks so much for hanging out with us. I'm Sean.
And I'm Jen.
And we're out of here. Bye.